What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the Washington Football Maniacs channel. Thank you all for joining me. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. And for those who are subscribers, as always, thank you for supporting this channel. So in this video, we're talking about Chase Young. It looks like Chase Young won't be picked up for his fifth-year option this year, hence making him a free agent after the 2023 season. As John Kemp reports, ESPN staff writer and Washington Beat Report writer, Washington Commanders won't pick up the fifth-year option for the defensive end, making him a possible free agent after this season, as multiple sources confirmed. It really wasn't a surprise, as Coach Ron Rivera said that last week that they would announce the decision before the May 2nd or by the May 2nd deadline. Of course, they wound up deciding to announce this today, which is April 26th. Of course, Rivera had been non-committal about Young's options, but he definitely wasn't hesitate. He did not hesitate to pick up the fifth-year option for Montez Sweat. But now this is an interesting thing. By not picking up the decision or deciding not to pick up the fifth-year option for Chase Young, with that decision, we could possibly have both of our bookends being free agents next season. Now, this is definitely a bold move, because here's the thing. This definitely worked with Daron Payne. Okay, we're not going to pick up your fifth-year option. You're going to have to prove it to us. And he proved it. And he got definitely got an extension on his deal. That's the upside to all this. So we could actually see Chase Young, seeing if he can prove it. If he can prove it to us, he gets extended. It's as simple as that. The thing is, we are also in a chance that we could lose both Montez Sweat and Chase Young at the end of the season, thus making that defensive line a very empty shell of what it could be. Now, I think that's the reason why that we may see Ron Rivera possibly still looking at defensive ends in the draft. I mean, it's not out of the realm that he may be looking at Plan B options. Kind of like how we looked at Fedorian Mathis last year to replace Daron Payne. And now, obviously, you got Daron Payne and you got Fedorian Mathis, so you've got some good depth there at that tackle position, or not tackle position, but yeah, defensive tackle position for Daron Payne. You definitely want Montez Sweat back, but Chase Young. A lot of people have kind of soured on Chase Young. I feel like this is probably a good move to let him prove it. You can't live off of name alone. You've got to be able to prove you can be the Chase Young who is going to be this budding superstar, and from his rookie season. Rivera has said that he wanted to gauge Young's health coming off of his 2021 knee injury and his commitment. Young had not always worked out in Washington during the past off seasons. In late January, Rivera mentioned that not picking up the fifth year could perhaps motivate Young, leading to a big season. Young, of course, he suffered a torn right ACL in November 2021, causing him to miss the final 7 games. He also ruptured his patella tendon, causing a longer recovery. Young returned for the final 3 games of the 2022 season, recording 5 tackles, 1 quarterback hit, but no sacks. Young has received positive updates on his knee this offseason from Dr. James Andrews, who performed his surgery. Before hurting his knee in 21, Young posted 1.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 4 quarterback hits. Not a very stellar 21 campaign before he got injured. Washington selected Young with the 2nd pick in the 2020 draft, Rivera's first with the organization. Young earned NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year honors with 7.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, and 3 fumble recoveries, one of which he returned for a touchdown. He also had 12 quarterback hits. Now, Young would have made $17.452 million, fully guaranteed under a 5th-year option. If he produces a big year, Washington could always use the franchise tag on him. The projected franchise tag next year for the defensive end would be $24.66 million. So let's say, for instance, that Chase Young has a really big season this coming year. Bounce back season. He's the defensive player of the year. So, of course, you would think he would earn a big contract extension. And you also have Montez Sweat, who also has a big year as well. What do you do? I think certainly the franchise tag is going to be in play for one of those two guys. I think you're almost going to have to do that in order to keep both of them. So which one would you tag? Well, I think it remains to be seen, certainly. Way too early to say because we don't know how the season's going to go yet. We don't know if both are going to remain healthy. But, if best case scenario, both play their guts out, as Joe Gibbs would say, and they both, post stellar seasons, then I think you're going to wind up seeing one of them get tagged, the other one get extended, and then you hope that you can work on a contract extension for the other one, or either have them to play on that tag and hope that you can extend the following season. Haven't really seen that to work out too well for Washington as of yet, for players that they have tagged and not been able to assign to a extension. Deron Payne has really been that first guy that they've been able to be successful with tagging and then being able to actually sign to an extension. So it remains to be seen. But, with Chase Young, it's do or die, man. And I think that's the right move. Overall, I think it's really the right move to not give him that 5th-year option. I think you let him ride. You let him prove it this year and see what happens because, that defensive front was dominant without him for much of the 22 campaign. And, he wasn't that much of a factor when he came back. I mean, he was balling. I mean, he played well, but he wasn't a dominant force. So I want to see him be a dominant force, and I also want to see Montez Sweat be a dominant force as well. And certainly you want to see Deron Payne, who just got paid. You want to see him continue what he did last year. You don't want to see him be the type of player where he gets paid and then he sits back and puts it on cruise control. John Allen, he got paid and he actually bumped it up a notch or two. That's what you want to see out of you guys. So let's see what happens. Okay? So Chase Young, 5th-year option, turned down. It's do or die, my friends. Let me know what you think in the comment sections below. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like. Give me a comment, share it with your friends, and with that said, I'll see you in the next one.
Hey, you stayed until the very end. Thank you so much. Watch another one right now.